Dave here. I'm going to do a little tutorial here on how to use Powertab editor. I use it for guitar and ukulele, and right now I'm showing you on the ukulele. So I have my ukulele staff, and well, you can have your guitar staff, ukulele staff, and right now I have it set for ukulele, and you can use it for bass. So I have the 4 lines, and to start off I need to put my guitar in. Sometimes I think by default it'll have the guitar already in there. So I clicked the little guitar symbol up here, or it said guitar, and now it says staff in. So I'm going to click that, and now that way I can hear it when I'm playing it back. So this, and okay, I need a time signature right up here. It says through that little 3/4 thing. Click on that, and you can put 6/8, 3/4, common time, cut time. I'm going to do 4/4, and I click show meter. Click that, hit OK, and then I'll show it in the staff here. Now I want to put a key signature, and you can pick these. I could pick F, D, G, some of the main ones I use for ukulele, but right now it's set for C major, and that's what I want, and that's by default, C major. And so now let's get started. I'm going to start putting some tab numbers in here. So on your keyboard, to start putting them in, I'm on the first string, hit a 3 for 3rd fret, I got an 8th note here. And you can change the values of the notes down here. Like if I hit whole note, it's a whole note, half, quarter. But I'm going to use 8th for this. So I hit my arrow key on my keyboard, hit a 2, a 0. Now I'm going to go to the 4th string. I'm going to hit a 0 there, which is an open string. Second string, I put a 1, a 0. Go to the 3rd string, I'm going to hit a 2, 0. Hit my arrow key. And now over here, this little guy, that's your music bar lines. You got repeats and your ending one right here. I just want a regular bar line. So now I got a full measure here. So if I play that, alright, now I'm going to show you how to do a chord. I'm starting here on a new measure. So I'm going to put a 3, and I'm going to use the down arrow key. Put some zeros, and now I have a C chord. But this one I want as for a whole note value. So now it's one full measure. I'm going to hit the right arrow key again. And it brought me over here, and I'm going to put another bar line in. So say if I want to copy and paste some of this stuff, just left click, drag over it, highlight it, hit copy, click in this measure, right click, paste. Now if you want to neaten this stuff up, I go under tools up here and hit score polisher. There, it kind of spaced it a lot neater. Okay, now say if you want to add, well, let me go here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to click on this note at the beginning, and I'm going to show you how to put what tempo you want it. There's a little quarter note with an equal. Click that, and here you can change it. By default, it's 120. I'm going to change this to, I'll put a 107. And then that will show up your little metronome. If I play it, the speed will be 107. It's kind of nice to use if there's some tab and it's going by real fast and you want it to go by slower so you kind of hear it, or maybe play along with it. Okay, now if I want to add a new section, I'll go up here. It says section here. Click that and just hit new section. And then I can just put a whole new deal in there. Say if I want to put this whole, I'll just copy all that. copy, and you can cut stuff. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm trying to move stuff around. Hit paste. Now if I want to put a, okay, let me show you this here. There's a little green arrow here. This is the score checker. And now it's telling me I'm missing a double bar ending at end of the score. So okay. I use that all the time to make sure, because you make mistakes. Let me show you this again. I click at the end of it. Hit the ending bar. That's a double one. Hit OK. Now I'll go to score checker. Okay, I have nothing goofed up in it. Now say if you want to put some rests in. So like say if I'm on this chord here, I'm going to make that a half notes. So I hit the arrow key. I'm going to move it over a little bit. That looks good. Then under here it has rests. So I hit the rest. And I use the middle one for ukulele. So to make this measure come out right, I have to put a half rest. Because you have half notes, half rest. Score checker. Everything's good. I'll go back to tools. I'm going to polish that up a little bit. Okay, it was in a good spot. Okay, now if I want to put a chord name, I'll click on my chord right here. And there's a little chord diagram box right up here. I click that. It brings up this. And I'm going to click the chord diagram box here. Now this is just like regular chord diagram boxes. You have your open strings. And if I want to make a C chord, I'm going first string, 3rd fret. And then I have a C. The program might call it a CG, but you can change it. Like, well, let me hit OK on this. I'll show you one thing. Say if I want to put another chord in, say if I had an F chord in my music here, it's going to give you suggested names, but I don't want to call it an F/A. I know it's an F chord and that's an A note, but I want to call it just an F. So I hit this little thing that says CM, and I'm just going to click F. I just click the F. I don't want that. And here's all the ones if I want to call it F minor, F major, augmented, all that stuff. So I just want to call it F for this one. Hit OK. Hit this OK. And you have these little arrow keys if you want to move them around. F before the C. I usually have them in order as they are on the staff. So I'm going to get rid of that F. You just hit the little delete guy right here. It's gone. Now if you want to have the name, the letter name for this chord, you go out and click on your chord. And that little guy here says CM. Click on that. And over here, if you had a bunch of chords, you just pick the one you want. So I want to pick C, and it has the letter C. You can't see it in this. When you print it off on paper or a PDF, it will be at the top. So here's a little magnifying glass right up here. Print preview. You click on that. And then you can see the chord diagram up there. Okay, one other thing, or a couple things. See if I clicked on this 3 and you want to put a hammer on or a pull off. There's a little guy here that says HP. So whatever it is, if I was going to do, say if I did 2 pull offs, I'd do it whatever notes go in there. And if it's a hammer on, like if say this was a 2 of 3, and then it'd be a little H or HP for hammer on. So let me see here. Okay, if I'm going to add say if I want to put a staff in between these, I'll be on this one here, right up here on that staff. I go into section, and I can insert after. And I got a whole one in there, whole new section. If I just go on one of these here, from there, and if I go back to section, if I want to remove it, it says remove section. Get that horrible sound. I'll pop a window there. And I think that's the basics. There's other stuff I could show later with rhythm slashes, so you don't have to put all the little tab numbers. They'll just play the music with little slashes. Like if I had a C chord, I could have a bunch of little slashes. Well, you know what? Let me just show just a little bit of that. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. These little red ones here will pop up, and then you just put them all the way across, and you have slashes going. Say if I was gonna do, let's see that one there. Whoops. Hold on. I'm hitting the wrong thing. I was hitting these blue ones. Gotta hit these guys. There. Well, I go all the way across. And so forth. I'm gonna get rid of this. That'd be in a different tutorial. This taking kind of long already. This section, I'm gonna move that. So this is just the basics on it. I always end up checking my little score checker. Everything looks good. Usually at the end I'll do the polisher, make sure everything's neat. And to save it, you go under File, like you save everything. Just save as, because you don't want to screw up your little blank uke job or whatever. The guitar one's different, but the uke one, it took me a while to figure out how to make that uke staff to look good. Let's save as, and then I'd rename it, then save it. Now if you want to put in a PDF, go to Print. Well, if you want to print it off, just pick your printer and then print it. But I have a cute PDF writer. It's a free download. I click OK. And then I name it and save it wherever you want to save it. Right, I'll play it one time through and I'll call this good for now. Oh, I think I did tell you this. If you want to play something not just from the beginning, say if I clicked on this chord right here, hit the play button, not the play from beginning. And one other thing, when I do save these to PDFs, I'll click at the beginning where it says that little guitar one in. I don't want that in there. I'll just click guitar and then just click that and it takes it out. You won't be able to hear it on the playback. If we hit play, you can't hear it. You'd have to click it and bring it back in so you could hear it. And that's where you'd click staff in again. Alright, this is my little tutorial. Alright, thank you.